In front of the cathedral and atop the former Corpus Christi Hospital, the Episcopal Palace was built in the 18th century, now a museum of holy art. Through a Baroque cloister of great beauty, the main staircase can be accessed. A place where a dome with an octagonal tholobate covers visitors. The permanent collection takes visitors on a chronological journey through the city's ecclesiastical history. The medieval room is where the most primitive pieces are housed, like the Christ of the Helpless, or the Virgin enthroned with the Child from the 13th century, as well as documents that talk of how history was developed. And at the back, the painting by Paolo de San Leocadio from the 15th century can be found that takes visitors back to the time of transition between the Gothic world and the Renaissance, a landscape with a nod to Italian style and Roman architecture. The warrior of God, St. Michael the Archangel, in the centre almost dancing, wearing detailed armour that reminds us of the workshops of Milan. Defeated at his feet are three zoomorphic beings, hybrids between a winged dragon and human figure. In the next room are mainly pieces from the 16th century, an incunable from the ages of the world, biblical apocrypha, and liturgical elements that show the changes in the liturgy. The so-called noble floor was where the bishop lived. Nowadays, in the gallery that surrounds the cloister, one can find an episcopology with the portraits of the bishops of the diocese. Likewise, there is the throne room, decorated with the original paintings of the palace by Pedro de Orente, also where one can find the throne in which the bishop sat, as well as one of the first books published at the palace in the times of Bishop Esteve. The only piece of a non-religious nature in the museum is the Old Woman with a Candle by Matthias Stommer, an important Flemish painter. From here, one can pass to the Chapel of the Bishop, which today houses the museum's most important piece, The Temptation of St. Thomas by Diego Velázquez, the most noteworthy painting of Valencian cultural heritage. The work was painted in 1631 to 1633, expressly for the Santo Domingo school, a gift from the Spanish court to say thank you for naming Antonio de Sotomayor, confessor to King Philip IV, as the protector of the school. This work shows the temptation of this Dominican, who faints because of his struggle to avoid falling at the hands of the woman with whom he was locked up, to tempt him. His act of faith is rewarded with the white ribbon of chastity, bestowed upon him by the angels wearing robes of colours. Signs of Velázquez's style are visible in the pentimenti and the way planes are overlain. In the sacristy, other pieces of furniture or themes from that space can be seen. The visitor can then go back and completely cross the cloister to head towards the 18th century room, which houses a detailed model of the Santo Domingo school and an exhibition of the textiles used in liturgical acts, as well as paintings of a large and small scale and other curious pieces. There is also a rich collection of metalwork. With the piece known as the Custodia de Santiago, custody of James, standing out, as well as a large wooden lectern that was once in the cathedral. Once again in the cloister, visitors can go towards the 19th century room, or Yellow Room, to admire the beauty of the painting by Vicente López, a painter of Ferdinand VII's court. Curious objects like the mother-of-pearl chests from the Monasterio de la Visitación, Monastery of the Visitation, and musical instruments. This is a great collection on display for the enjoyment of the visitor, to immerse oneself in the twists and turns of the sacramental history of our city.